right, I'm here with the boy who played, and I am he who shred not be named.
Harry Potter nicknames this week?
Yeah.
Come on, man. Why can't I just be PK and UAP like in real life?
Because you're an Axeman now.
But I like Old Spice.
Okay, that was dumb. But seriously, you've been playing guitar for how long now?
5 days?
A week, right?
Yeah, 5-7 days a week.
Yeah, I can't remember. So we got your guitar Saturday, and so yeah, it's been about a week then.
Yeah.
And we're supposed to check in with your progress. What do you got? What did you learn this week?
Just chords, the chords that you told me to practice. So, what were they? D, A, E, and the minors for each of those, and C and G.
C and G. So the open chords, basically.
Yeah.
So what did you do to go about learning those chords?
I think the first thing I did, obviously, was go on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
Justin Guitar was the channel name.
Yes, you showed me the videos. Justin Guitar.
Yeah. And he had really easy to understand videos.
Okay, so let's see what he showed you then.
Okay, which one do you want me to play? Does it matter?
Did you learn the D? You learned the D chord?
Yeah.
Okay, let's see the D chord. I'm not gonna move my finger so he can't cheat. That's a D chord. My guitar's not plugged in, but that's okay. We're here to focus on what you learned. So that's the D chord. Mm-hmm. Good. And then what did he teach you from there?
How to just keep the index finger as like your bass so you don't get lost. So you just pull it back. And then you go to E. Oh, wait, sorry.
E chord. Good. So he went over how to transition between the chords too.
Well, some, yeah. Obviously, there are some that you're not going to be able to do it that easily.
Okay.
You might have to lift and...
He showed you a rule.
It was a good exercise.
He showed you a rule that worked for a couple of the chords. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's D and E, and what else did you learn? You learned C chord?
Yeah.
All right. Dude, you learned them, man.
Yeah.
That's good. So did you have any trouble learning the chords?
I think it's been pretty smooth so far. I'm sure that there's going to be like some other fingers that are going to be really weird. At first, I was hitting some of the strings, like making this, like one finger would get in the way because it'd be too much. No. Like,
that's a common problem when people are learning chords, and people out there that, if anybody's started to follow along your progress yet, you're probably experiencing too. Is if you're not pressing the fret down all the way, you'll get dead notes in your chord.
Yeah.
Let's see a G chord. Good. And then we did what about A? Did you do A?
No, not yet. Well, yeah, I practiced it, but we haven't gone over it.
No, that's perfect. That's the A chord. Your guitar might be a little out of tune, but that's fine. You've been learning how to tune your guitar. You've been using a tuner.
Yeah.
Okay. Very good, man. And then you also, if I'm not mistaken, you memorized the strings.
I think so.
Let's put you on the spot. Tell me what they are.
E, A, D, G, B, E.
That's right.
Okay. Yeah. I have it written down on like a whiteboard in my room. So I have to keep looking at it because I do get a bit lazy.
I have to say, like I've tried. I've seen other people when they first start learning guitar, and it's they have a little bit more trouble learning those chords. Like in just a week, being able to play them, like you go right to them. The next thing is gonna be being able,
between them?
Yeah, fast while doing a strumming pattern. It's going to be a little bit more complicated, but you're on the right track. You're playing the chords. What do you think was the hardest part about learning the chords?
Just getting the time in, not doing it, and making sure the fingers land in the right spot. Did you find a feel for it?
Did you find that you had to constantly check where your fingers were? Like maybe when you first started learning a chord, you play them and you hear those dead notes, and you'd have to investigate.
Yeah.
What note wasn't being played right? Maybe.
Yeah, I did have to do that.
Okay, so if you're playing, say, like a G chord, and then you may hear you could hear like a note, and you'd have to look and figure out, was it that a finger wasn't pressed down hard enough, or was it that another finger might have been deadening it unintentionally?
Well, both. Sometimes one thing would happen, and I would have to go in and like reset. Especially if I was doing it for a while, my hands would get tense and I would start messing up more, so I'd have to just relax.
Yeah. I should mention that we got some thunder outside, so that's the the gods of rock are shining upon you for doing such a good job learning your open chords. I have to say, I actually am pretty impressed that you were able to do this in such a short amount of time. I didn't know what to expect, and everybody's going to be different because some people, it could be anything. And I don't want to say that people are maybe developing slower, because it may be that they start off slower and then pick up speed. Mm-hmm. But it could also be that you're picking up speed fast, but you may hit some plateaus. We don't know. So I don't want to say you're more gifted than somebody else if they can't do this in a week, because if you looked at it plotted on a graph, their learning curve may be different. They may start off slow, but then they may pick up speed real fast, where you may start off fast and dip back down. So everybody's different. So if it's a week for you and you can't play the chords as good as he's doing, that doesn't mean let me just put it this way. That doesn't necessarily mean you're more talented than they are. And there may be somebody out there that's, in a week did more than you. Who knows? I don't know. But in my experience, seeing people learn guitar, that is good progress for a week, and I'm very pleased. And anybody that's following along this is week one. Mm-hmm. I hope that we see a steady progress for you. What about this? Are you enjoying it as much as you thought you would?
I like it. No, obviously the first day it was really strange holding it. I just didn't feel like this should even be
Yeah. I remember when we went to the guitar store and we handed you guitars, and it probably felt like this weird appendage that's been added to your body. Like, what the heck do I have? But now you when you came in today, I saw you open the case and you took your guitar out and you put it on your knee, and you just seemed like you'd done it a million times at that point. Another strategy we talked about, and I don't know if there's any science behind this or not, but I told you to practice the last thing you do before you go to bed, because I think as you're falling asleep, you kind of remember the last thing you did, and maybe who knows if the neural pathways connect better. I have no idea, but I noticed that if I'm practicing a really hard passage on a solo or something, that the last thing I do before I go to bed would be to do that. Maybe even have the guitar in my bedroom, and then just set it aside and then go right to sleep. And I feel like that helps. And you said that you did incorporate that strategy. Mm-hmm. So like I said, if it's pseudoscience and we're absolutely, if you can debunk it, fine. I'm open to that, of course. But I feel like, for me, it's a good time to clear my head and do it. And practice something that I'm learning right before bed, and it kind of sticks with me a little bit better. Mm-hmm. What about finger pain? Are you getting any from the ends of your fingers?
A bit, yeah. On the tips of my fingers.
That's one thing when you first start, you'll get calluses. And I hear that the gods of rock outside are still
it's pretty bad.
The hammer of the gods outside. Yeah. But no, that's one thing you'll get is calluses on the ends of your fingers. And right now you probably can see the indentations of the strings on your fingers still at this point. Mm-hmm. Like if I look at your fingers, I can see there's a little line going through the soft pads part. Yeah. But that's perfectly normal. And what about, have you practiced any strumming patterns yet? Like that's probably something that...
No, not yet.
Not yet. So right now, but now that you're able to go to the chords pretty quick.
Well, it was just that, the only thing I've done is just switching between them, but the easy patterns that the guy had on his videos. So it's from A to E, just back and forth. He would tell you to do that. So
that's what I think, is just playing each chord. Yeah. Like say you're working on the D chord, and you know the other ones. You practice the D chord, then the G chord, then the D chord, then the C chord, then the D chord, then the A chord, and go back to that D in between, and then do each one like that. Then say you're working on A, you go A to the D, A to the G, A to the C, and do all the other chords with A in between each one to get your fingers used to going to it. So what I think we'll do, this is week one, you made good progress. We showed everybody what's going on. So we'll tune back in next week. And before they go, why don't you play each one of the chords you learned one more time, let them hear it.
You want to tell me which ones, or just go?
I could call them out to you if you want. Let's start with this. Let's do the G chord. All right. Let's do A. Yeah, let it ring out.
Oh,
okay. All right. Let's do D. All right. Let's see. What else did we learn? You did the E chord. this is probably an easy one to transition to from E, but E, just do A minor. You notice that's the same shape, just up. Yep. And then go back to E, but do E minor. Now go back to A, but do A natural, or A major, I should say. Good. And did you learn a D minor too?
Yeah, I think I did. Let me see if I remember it. Is it? I might get it wrong, but
Nope, that's it.
that's the one, right? Yeah.
That's totally it. All right, so week 1 was open chords. There's still some more variations on those and some different alternate fingerings for those chords. But you said you learned that from Justin Guitar.
Yeah.
So that's our shout out. He's like gonna see a huge spike in subscribers just from us. No, just kidding. But no, I looked at the videos you showed me. It looked like he did a good job of explaining it, and he also put the tablature up to help you. All right. Well, I hope you're super excited. I'm excited. You're learning fast.
Yeah.
We're going to be moving on. Tune in next week to find out whatever it is that PK learns this coming week, whatever you practice. And that's what we're going to talk about right now, so that way next week we have something to talk about. All right. That's us signing out.